which player is most likely to sign a long-term deal with their current team? Francisco Lindor, Mookie Betts, or Kris Bryant? And I guess, John, you can take that one first. What do you think?
Yeah, as much as all the things that were being talked about out there about Kris Bryant and possibly being traded, I think he's the most likely to sign with his team. Those are three great options and three different options. Lindor in the market in Cleveland, of course, and then Betts coming over. So I don't know. I just feel like Bryant is one of the faces of the Cubs and will find a way to be there.
Eric, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Mookie Betts. I think the Dodgers were really what he came into spring training. He addressed the team, the leadership. I'm not sure that they realized that he was that advanced as far as that goes. The ability, second to none. But you combine those two, he's somebody that you can build a franchise around.
We're talking about players 25 or under that you build your team around if you were starting your team today. So, Eric, give me your thoughts on who there's a lot of good ones. Who you'd take?
Oh, you're going to call me a homer, Chris, but I'm not straying far from Southern California. I'm going to go with Cody Bellinger.
I can't argue with that.
His athleticism speaks for itself. He can play a number of positions. He'll be out in center field for the Dodgers this year, but really a Gold Glove caliber player, whether it's in the outfield or at first base. And with the bat, when we saw what he did last year, over 1,000 OPS. But I think probably the most impressive thing, was what he did against left-handed pitching last year. 596 slugging percentage, 38 strikeouts, 34 walks. And that was one of the things that, is he really going to hit against left-handed pitching? But he's really become a complete ball player, complete hitter. And as I said, his athleticism, unreal. And, he doesn't steal a lot of bases, 15 last year. But if he wanted to, he could be 30, 35 at will.
All right. John, how about you?
Well, there really isn't a wrong answer, but, I built my answer based on longevity. If it was the next year or two, I'd probably pick Acuna. But I look at Juan Soto as an old soul whose game translates for the next 10 years. His swing and everything that he does, his plate discipline, and just the fact that he, under the greatest moments of his life last year, didn't seem phased at all. And the reason I say that is because some of the other guys, including, Ken Bellinger and Acuna's style of hitting lasts for the next 10 years. Well, they have to adjust. It's pretty violent, but it's phenomenal. And I just look at Juan Soto being one of these guys that's not phased by the type of baseball that's being played today. He takes his walks. He swings at pitches that he knows he can handle. And he's just got this discipline that has been unique. And I would love to see clubs have to redraft players to value that question you just posed, because that would be a lot that you'd have to take into consideration, because the feel-good answer might not be the long-term answer for some clubs and how they make their decisions.
Eric, I'll start with you, and then we'll get John's thought on who would you make the favorite in this division and why?
Not by a lot, but I like the Cardinals. And I think more than anything, just because of the pitching and defense. Last year they committed the fewest errors in all of Major League Baseball. And people will talk about, the offense isn't going to be great and this and that. But because you are so preventive as far as allowing runs, your offense doesn't have to be great. The pitching staff, obviously, with Flaherty, they brought over the Korean kid, Kim. He may have an impact. Does Carlos Martinez get back into the starting rotation? Mikolas? There's so many options. And I think, too, you were looking at Paul Goldschmidt. He's going to rebound and have a much better year. The division is littered with talented stars. But, the Cardinals, for me, I think because of their pitching and because of their defense, they're going to win it.
Yeah, and that defense was quite a turnaround. They led the league in saves last year with 52. That was an interesting note. How about your thoughts? Would you agree with that, or where do the Cubs or Brewers fit in that mix for you?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's definitely going to be an interesting race, right? We're looking at not 162 games, so we're looking at a team that's going to be the most balanced, I believe, and have resources to be able to contribute to be successful. If it was 162 games, I totally agree. The answer would remain the same for me. It'd be the Cardinals' slight edge, but the surprising answer for me in second place might be the Cincinnati Reds. I think the amount of moves that they made and the ability for them to score more runs this year, their pitching was way above what anyone could have thought last year. I still think it's going to be a little bit better. But I believe they're going to score. And that leaves Chicago and Milwaukee, as you mentioned, those 4 teams in a tight race. And I know we talk about so many different things during the year, but the thing that concerns me about the Cubs, it's not that they won't put it together, it's that their bullpen is a little bit more unknown than the rest of the clubs.
For the best access, perspective, and personalities in all of sports, follow us at Fox Sports on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.